The arena of Carthos Prime was the largest battle stadium in the outer systems. It floated above the planet like a ring of steel and fire. Millions of lights burned across its walls. Thousands of alien warriors filled the seats, their armor shining under the red glow of the combat field. The air vibrated with noise. Roars. Laughter. Heavy stomps. Tonight was supposed to be entertainment. At the center of the arena stood a single human girl. She looked small compared to the others who had fought there before. She wore no heavy armor. No glowing shield. No advanced plasma weapon. Only dark combat clothing and two simple metal swords, one in each hand. When the crowd noticed the second sword, the laughter began. It rolled across the arena like thunder. No species can dual wield, one alien shouted. She will break her arms, another roared. Even the announcer struggled to hide his amusement. His voice echoed across the arena. Citizens of the galaxy, tonight we witness bravery, or foolishness. A human contestant has chosen to carry two blades. The camera drone zoomed close to her face. She did not react to the noise. Her breathing was slow and steady. Her eyes were calm. She adjusted her grip slightly, testing the balance of both swords as if the laughter did not exist. Across the field, the gates opened. The alien champion stepped out. He was massive. Nearly 3 meters tall. Thick armored plates covered his body. One heavy energy blade burned in his right hand. The ground trembled with every step he took. The crowd cheered loudly for him. He had never lost a public match. He stopped a short distance from the human girl and studied her. "You carry two," he said, his voice deep and confident. "Your muscles are weak. Your bones are light. You will drop one before the first strike." She did not answer. The silence from her felt strange. Most challengers shouted or tried to look brave. She simply waited. High above, members of the Galactic Combat Council watched from their private chamber. One of them leaned forward. "Humans are physically inferior," he said calmly. "This will end quickly." Another council member nodded. "Dual wielding is impossible. The nervous system cannot control two heavy blades in high-speed combat. Every species has tested this." Below them, the countdown lights began to flash. The arena grew quiet, waiting for the signal. 3. The champion lifted his blade and rolled his shoulders. 2. The human girl shifted her left foot slightly forward. 1. The barrier shields around the arena sealed shut with a loud hum. The champion moved first. He charged like a storm. His blade cut through the air with deadly force, aimed directly at her head. It was a strike meant to end the fight in seconds. Gasps spread across the audience. But at the last possible moment, she stepped sideways. Not backward. Sideways. Her right sword rose and met his blade. Sparks exploded in a bright shower of light. The impact shook the ground, yet she did not fall. The crowd stopped laughing. The champion pushed harder, trying to overpower her. Muscles expanded under his armor. His energy blade burned brighter. Then something unexpected happened. Her second sword moved. It slid down and locked against his weapon at a different angle, creating pressure from two sides. She was not trying to match his strength. She was redirecting it. For the first time, the champion's feet shifted to keep balance. A small crack formed in the arena floor beneath them. The human girl's face remained calm. The audience began to whisper. She twisted her body smoothly and forced his blade away from her center line. The motion was controlled, almost effortless. It did not look like raw power. It looked like practice. The champion stepped back half a pace. Only half a pace. But in this arena, the champion never stepped back. High above, one council member frowned. Increase camera focus, he ordered quietly. The drone zoomed in again. They captured her eyes. There was no fear there. Only focus. The champion growled and prepared another strike, this time faster, more serious. The human girl raised both swords slightly, ready. The crowd leaned forward in their seats. The laughter had disappeared. Now there was only tension. And somewhere in that silence, the first drop of blood was waiting to fall. The champion attacked again, but this time he did not hold back. His blade came down with full power, fast and heavy, aimed to crush her defense completely. The energy from his weapon burned bright blue as it cut through the air. The human girl did not move away. She stepped forward. Her two swords crossed in front of her body. The champion's blade smashed against them. A loud shockwave exploded across the arena floor. Cracks spread under their feet. Many in the crowd expected her arms to snap from the force. They did not. Instead, she lowered her body slightly and let the impact slide past her center. She did not try to stop his strength. She guided it. The champion felt it. For a brief second, his balance shifted. That was all she needed. Her left sword twisted and locked his blade outward. Her right sword flashed forward in a clean, direct motion. It was not wild. It was not angry. It was precise. The metal edge slipped between two armor plates near his shoulder joint. A thin red line appeared. For one heartbeat, nothing happened. Then a drop of dark alien blood fell onto the white stone floor. The entire arena froze. The sound of the single drop hitting the ground echoed louder than the crowd ever had. The champion stepped back quickly. His free hand touched the small wound. When he saw the blood on his fingers, his eyes widened slightly. He had not bled in public combat for years. High above, the council chamber became silent. One strike, one member whispered. Impossible. Below, the human girl returned to her starting stance. Both swords steady. Breathing calm. No celebration. No smile. The champion's pride burned hotter than his wound. He roared loudly, activating his full combat armor. Energy shields flared around his body. Extra plates shifted into place. His blade extended in length, glowing brighter than before. The crowd found its voice again, but it was not laughter now. It was nervous shouting. He will end this now. Crush her. The champion rushed forward with brutal speed. He swung left, then right, then spun with a heavy sweep meant to break her legs. She moved like flowing water. Each time his blade came close, her swords redirected it. Sometimes both blades worked together. Sometimes one blocked while the other prepared. She never wasted motion. She never overreached. The champion grew more aggressive. His strikes became faster, harder. Sparks filled the arena as metal hit energy again and again. Then he saw his opening. He aimed a powerful downward strike at her left side, forcing her to defend high. She allowed it. Her right sword rose to block. But instead of stopping there, her left sword slid low across the ground and cut into the back of his knee joint. This time the wound was deeper. The champion's leg buckled for half a second. More blood fell. Not one drop. Several. The crowd gasped loudly. The alien champion stumbled but did not fall. He jumped back, increasing distance between them. His breathing became heavy. This was no accident. This was skill. Inside the council chamber, one member opened ancient human battle records from Earth. Dual blade combat, he read slowly. Developed over thousands of years. Focus on rhythm, angles, and flow. Another council member looked down at the arena with new understanding. She is not overpowering him, he said quietly. She is outthinking him. Back in the arena, the champion's confidence began to crack. He circled her carefully now, no longer rushing blindly. She mirrored his movement. 2 swords. 2 points of threat. He could not predict which would strike first. For the first time in his long career, fear touched his mind. The human girl spoke softly, her voice carrying across the silent arena. You rely on strength. She lifted both swords slightly. We rely on adaptation. The champion growled and charged again, anger pushing him forward. But anger made him slower. And somewhere between his next strike and her next movement, everyone in the arena realized something terrifying. The blood on the floor was not luck. It was the beginning. The champion had stopped smiling. The crowd could feel the change in the air. The early laughter was gone. Now there was only tension. Even the loudest warriors in the stands sat quietly, watching every movement in the arena. The champion adjusted his stance. His wounded shoulder dripped slowly. His knee joint sparked where her blade had cut through armor. He was still strong. Still powerful. But now he was careful. He circled her slowly. The human girl moved with him, both swords raised at different angles. One slightly forward. One closer to her body. It was not random. It was balanced. The champion attacked again, but this time he did not rush blindly. He feinted left, then suddenly changed direction and struck low toward her leg. She did not block. She stepped inside his attack. The movement shocked him. Her right sword knocked his blade off its path. At the same time, her left sword rose in a fast upward arc toward his exposed side. He twisted his body just in time to avoid a deep strike, but the edge scraped across his armor, sending sparks into the air. He jumped back. She did not chase him. She waited. This made the crowd uneasy. Why was she not pressing the advantage? Because she was controlling the rhythm. The champion roared and activated a short burst of speed. His massive body moved faster than before, almost too fast for the cameras to follow. He attacked in a wild storm of heavy swings. Left. Right. Overhead. Sweep. The arena floor cracked further under his power. But her blades moved like twin streams of water. Sometimes they crossed to block a single heavy strike. Sometimes they separated, one defending while the other tested for weakness. She did not try to overpower him. She made him heavy. She made him waste energy. His swings grew wider. His breathing grew louder. The wound in his leg slowed his balance slightly. It was small, but in combat, small mistakes become fatal. High above, one council member spoke in a low voice. She is not fighting for strength. She is fighting for tempo. Another member nodded slowly. 2 blades allow her to control space. He cannot predict the second attack. Back in the arena, the champion grew frustrated. He stepped forward with a crushing downward strike meant to force her to defend high. She did. Her right sword blocked above her head. But her left sword did not wait. It slid across his lower armor seam near his ribs. A sharp metallic sound rang out. This time the cut went deeper. The champion stumbled sideways. More blood touched the arena floor. The crowd gasped again. He swung wildly in anger, but she ducked under the attack and rolled behind him. In one smooth motion, she brought both blades across his back armor. One blade struck the shield generator mounted there. The other cut into the exposed cable lines. Sparks exploded. The champion's energy shield flickered. For the first time, fear was visible in his eyes. He spun around and charged forward again, but now his movements were desperate. His pride pushed him, not strategy. She stepped aside at the last moment. Her right sword hooked his blade and forced it outward. Her left sword pressed against his throat armor. The edge stopped only a few centimeters from piercing. The arena was silent. She could have ended it there. But she pulled back. She stepped away and allowed him space to stand again. Why? Because she wanted the galaxy to understand. He was losing. Not by luck. Not by accident. But by design. The champion's chest rose and fell heavily. His armor sparked. Blood stained the arena floor beneath him. Across the galaxy, viewers watched the live broadcast. Military leaders. Commanders. Scientists. They all saw the same thing. A human girl controlling a battle with two simple blades. The champion roared one final time and prepared to release everything he had left. But now the arena no longer doubted her. The laughter from earlier felt distant. What remained was a growing realization. Dual wielding was not impossible. It was simply human. The champion no longer cared about skill. He cared about survival. His armor was damaged. His shield was unstable. Blood marked his steps across the arena floor. But he was still dangerous. Still powerful. Still the strongest warrior the galaxy had ever seen. The crowd could feel his desperation. With a loud roar, he activated his final combat reserve. Energy surged through his body. His muscles expanded. The ground cracked deeper beneath his feet. His blade burned brighter than before, glowing almost white. "This ends now," he shouted. He rushed forward with full force. The human girl did not move at first. She watched. She studied. At the last second, he leaped into the air and brought his blade down with crushing power, aiming to split her in half along with the arena floor. She stepped slightly to the side. Only a few inches. His blade smashed into the stone, sending dust and debris into the air. The impact shook the entire stadium. Cracks spread like lightning across the ground. Before he could recover, she moved. Her right sword struck the side of his weapon, locking it deep in the broken stone. Her left sword flashed upward toward his exposed arm joint. The blade slid cleanly between damaged armor plates. A deep cut opened. The champion roared in pain. He tried to pull his weapon free, but it was trapped for a moment. That small delay cost him everything. She stepped closer. Too close for his long weapon to be effective. This was no longer about distance. This was close combat. Her movements became faster. Short strikes. Precise angles. Both swords working like two parts of the same mind. One blade cut across his chest seam. The other pierced through the weakened shield generator at his back. Sparks exploded in a bright storm. The energy shield collapsed completely. The arena gasped. The champion tried to swing again, but his movements were slower now. Heavy. Unbalanced. She spun under his arm and drove one blade deep into the side of his torso armor. The second blade followed immediately after, cutting across his chest. Time seemed to slow. The giant warrior froze. His eyes widened. Blood poured down his armor and dripped onto the arena floor in thick drops. He dropped to one knee. The sound echoed through the stadium. The human girl stepped back, blade still raised. The champion tried to stand. He failed. His massive body fell forward, crashing against the cracked stone with a heavy impact. The arena shook. Silence filled the air. No cheers. No laughter. Just shock. The undefeated champion lay on the ground, defeated by a smaller opponent holding two simple swords. Medical drones rushed forward, scanning his condition. Alive. But beaten. High above, the council chamber was silent. Several members stared at the blood-stained arena floor. One of them spoke slowly. The rule was never about biology. Another answered quietly. It was about imagination. Below, the human girl stood still in the center of the arena. Her breathing was steady. Both swords remained in her hands. She did not raise them in victory. She did not celebrate. She simply looked around at the crowd that had laughed at her only minutes before. The crowd avoided her gaze. Across the galaxy, military systems replayed the fight again and again. Every strike. Every movement. 2 blades. Perfect control. The message was clear. If one human girl could defeat the strongest champion with dual blades, what could trained human soldiers do? The arena lights dimmed slightly as dust settled. The blood on the floor was no longer just a mark of victory. It was proof. Giants could fall. And humans did not need to follow the galaxy's limits to make it happen. The arena remained silent long after the champion fell. Medical drones worked quickly around his massive body, sealing wounds and stabilizing his breathing. He would live. But something else had died in that arena. Pride. The human girl stood alone in the center of the cracked battlefield. Blood stained the stone around her boots. Dust drifted slowly through the bright lights above. For years, the galaxy believed one truth without question. No species could dual-wield in high-speed combat. It was taught in military academies. It was written in combat law. It was proven in tests across hundreds of systems. But now, that truth lay broken on the arena floor. The announcer tried to speak, but his voice trembled. Victory goes to the human challenger. The words felt heavy. Across the seats, the alien warriors did not cheer. Many looked down. Others stared at the girl with something new in their eyes. Respect. High above, the Galactic Combat Council rose from their seats. The leader, an old and powerful figure, stepped forward to the viewing window. Bring her to the center platform, he ordered. A lift rose from the arena floor. The human girl stepped onto it without fear. She still carried both swords. When the platform lifted her to the council's level, millions of viewers across the galaxy watched closely. The council leader studied her in silence. You broke a law of combat, he said. She looked at him calmly. No. His eyes narrowed. Dual wielding has been declared impossible. She shook her head slightly. Impossible for you. The chamber grew still. One council member activated a holographic display. Ancient Earth battle records appeared in the air. Images of human warriors training with 2 blades. Old war footage. Martial forms developed thousands of years ago. We have underestimated human adaptability, the member admitted quietly. The council leader looked back at her. Why risk your life to prove this? She cleaned one blade slowly against her sleeve. You made it a rule, she said. Humans do not like limits placed on them. The words carried across every broadcast channel. Military leaders in distant systems exchanged worried looks. If humans trained in methods the galaxy had ignored. If humans studied rhythm instead of strength. If humans fought without accepting fixed limits. Then every battlefield calculation would need to change. The council leader folded his hands. You could have killed our champion. She nodded once. Yes. Why did you not? She answered simply. This was not about killing. The chamber understood. It was about sending a message. Down below, the massive doors of the arena opened again. Human representatives waited at the entrance. They were calm, disciplined, and silent. Not one. Not two. Many. The galaxy saw them clearly for the first time. The human girl stepped off the platform and walked toward them. Both swords still rested in her hands. The crowd watched in silence. Earlier, they had laughed. Now they understood the cost of that laughter. The blood on the arena floor was not just the champion's. It was a warning written in red. Never assume human weakness. Never confuse size with power. And never believe that something is impossible simply because you failed to master it. As the human team exited the arena together, the broadcast ended with one final image. Two swords crossing in the air. Perfect balance. Perfect control. Across the stars, alien academies quietly updated their combat theories. Across human space, training halls filled with renewed pride. The galaxy had learned something important that day. Dual wielding was not a mistake. It was a choice. And humans always chose to adapt. The arena lights shut down slowly, leaving only the cracked stone and drying blood as proof of what had happened. Some truths are spoken. Others are carved into history. This one was written by two blades. And the galaxy would never forget it.